Okay, hello. So we're going to continue working today on the application that I started creating yesterday. Again, it is going to be a question and answer application. So users can create inboxes and anybody can add a message in an inbox and anybody can vote on a message. It's going to be something like their top 10s. So think of it, all these are inboxes like best songs for whatever. People can add their responses or questions and anybody can vote. And we will see the top voted results. So for example, if I've got a YouTube channel, you will be able to vote on video ideas that you would like to see. Or if I'm creating an application, you would be able to vote for features that you would like to see in the application. So it's going to be something like a user feedback application, or even something like Stack Overflow, where users can ask questions and other users can suggest their answers and vote on them. Anyway, coming back to what we were working on previously, we had this case with not been able to push to Heroku. So I figured out what the problem was. Basically, here is the explanation on the Hotwire discussion. So it's actually a really good forum where we can find many answers. So when I installed Turbo in the application, for some reason it said that we have Turbo Rails 7.1.1, but there is no Turbo Rails 7.1.1. If we go to Turbo Rails, we see that the version should be around 0.8.2. And if we open Hotwire, go to Turbo, so 7.0.1 would be the version of Turbo. So there was some kind of error when installing Turbo in our local application. And what I did, I went and said gem uninstall Turbo Rails. So I uninstalled all the versions. You see, for some reason, we installed these versions that actually should not exist locally. And yeah, then I just recreated the gem file. So I deleted the gem file. Let's have a look at git status. Okay, now I will just run bundle. And it should work correctly. So let's reload. I will say Turbo. Yeah, and you see we have Turbo Rails 0.7.11 something. And I can also say that I want, well, a newer version of Turbo to be available. Do we have the latest version installed or not? 0.8.3, and yeah, this is the latest version. So looks good. Now it should kind of work. Let's again see the changes that we did to the gem file. So yeah, I've updated bundler and I've updated the version of Turbo Rails. You see, this version of Turbo Rails just doesn't exist. So now I can say git add all, git commit main, fix bug with Turbo version. Okay, git push. And now once again I will try to push to Heroku. Git push Heroku main. And hopefully it will work this time. Yeah, usually pushing for the first time to Heroku takes quite a while, but I think pushing a Rails 7 application should be faster than Rails 6. Okay. Application not supported by Heroku Node.js build pack. I've set this build pack, but unable to detect Node.js. So yeah, actually I added this Node.js build pack to the application yesterday when I was trying to find what the problem was. But apparently I shouldn't have done that. So where do we have our build packs? Okay, I'm going to remove this Heroku Node.js build pack. And we have Heroku Ruby. And I'm going to try to push to Heroku once again. And actually, thanks to Secret Prey for the ideas that he added. So today in the morning, I see there are already 2 branches in the application on GitHub. One is from Secret Prey. Hello. So he suggested some changes. We can also have a quick look. Hello, Abdul Rahman. Yeah, so he added his fix for Turbo Rails. That's good. Then some updates to seeds. We can also have a look at them. And some layout updates. So as I see, he made a suggestion to have the footer always on the bottom. Okay, that's good. We can add it a bit later, as soon as we are done with Heroku. And in the meantime, finally, we see that we have pushed to Heroku. Okay, so it was not a general Rails problem, it wasn't a Heroku problem, it wasn't a device problem, it was a problem with my local setup. Hello, Satya. Okay, now let's try opening the application on Heroku. And it seems to be running. Interesting. But I go to any page and it doesn't work because I didn't run the migrations. Okay, actually let's automate this. Let's make it so that the migrations are run automatically whenever we push to Heroku. And for this we're going to use a proc file. Actually on my blog I've got some notes on proc file. Basically it is a file that to which we can add some settings that will be automatically executed whenever we push to Heroku. So we are going to create a file named proc file in the root of our application. So creating proc file. And I'm going to run to add these 2 lines to the proc file. So web bundle execute Rails server. Well, Heroku does it anyway, but we can add it, that's fine. And here's the important one, we're going to add release Rails DB migrate. So after the application is released to Heroku, after all this happens, it is also going to automatically run a migration. So we don't have to manually run a migration when we push to Heroku. Let's save our changes and push them. Git add all, git commit main, add proc file, git push, and git push Heroku main. Actually, I can go to Heroku in the meanwhile and have a look at some settings that I can add. So here we have deploy. I have already connected my GitHub repository. I can enable automatic deploys from the repository. Looks good. And I will also add the paid tier. So let's see. Configure dynos. I will now where was it? Installed add-ons. I actually forgot how to change the tier to paid on Heroku. Okay, I see a message. All videos are very informative. Thank you so much. I'm waiting for more videos. Thank you, Satya. And hello, Shiva. Okay, let's see. So yes, you see we have pushed to Heroku once again, and after release, it says run and release command and adding all the migrations. So we ran all our migrations on pushing to Heroku. Now I will refresh and looks nice. So I go to the root, I go to inboxes, I need to sign in before continuing. Let me create an account. I'll actually go to sign up. And we are signed up. Okay, and I can create a first inbox. Let's name it what video videos would you like to see on SuperRails YouTube channel. Now I don't like this input form. Let's actually make it a bit bigger, a bit wider, a bit nicer. So yeah, I'm going to go to our app views. Here we have our inbox form, and we're going to edit this form a bit. So we have text field for name. Then I will also say autocomplete off. So if I don't add this autocomplete off, let's see what happens. I'll start the server. I go to inboxes. Okay, I need to also sign up here. So I'm going to a new inbox. And let's try adding a new inbox. Now once again, hello. Okay, autocomplete doesn't seem to be working at the moment, but from another browser I had some autocomplete functionality and I do not want it here. So I'm going to say autocomplete off. Then I will also make it wider, so full width. I will say style width 100%. Something like this. Okay, I forgot a comma. So width 100% already looks better. And let's also edit the maximum length. So let's say we have our backend validation for the maximum length, like it might be 100 characters or so, you see? And we will also add this kind of validation on our front end. So we're going to add the HTML attribute of max length. And let's say 10, for example. I can refresh, I'll start typing in. Does it work or not? Interesting. I don't see it work. Length. Okay, maybe I made a typo. You see, I'm trying to type more characters now, but they don't get typed in because of this front-end validation. Okay, I see. Всем привет, Ярослав, убери флеш ниже nav menu. Okay, I will. So for now I add max length here, and it's going to be the same one as I've got inside our inbox.rb. So here we have a min name, max name. Let's add it. I will make it max length, inbox, max name. You see, if we say inbox, max name, we can have this number from a view as a constant. You see, it's 100. And now this validation is going to also work in this form. You see, I cannot type more characters now. So yeah, I did some basic validations on the front end for our input for an inbox, and we can do something similar for our messages. Let's open our message form and see. So it is a text area, and we are definitely not going to have any autocomplete in a text area. Here it is. Let's actually make the width 100%. So style width 100%. Okay, now let's also add a max length. Let's also move it on a separate line. It would be, let's see, I'll go to message, max body. I will have message max body as the max length, like this. We have style width. We will also, do we need to add autocomplete off? I think not, but just in case we can. Or not really, doesn't really matter. So here we have max name, here we have max body, width. Okay, let's refresh. Let's also add a few more rows. Let's say rows 10, for example. Will it work? Yeah, so now in our input for a new message we have 10 rows. And what if we also remove this label for body? We don't really need it. And we just have this input field. Now let's try to have more than allowed symbols here. I try to type more, it doesn't work. And we don't have to have this, we don't raise this backend validation error. And again, I go to new message, I will inspect the element, and you see we added this HTML attribute max length 2000. Let's have a quick look at it. I will go to mdn max length. So here we have this HTML attribute max length. Here, for example, we have max length set to 4, and we cannot add more than 4 symbols. So makes sense. Okay, let's save the changes. Input padding 5 pixels, 10 pixels. Okay, let's try doing that. So we have style width 100. I will try adding padding 5 pixels, 10 pixels. Let's see if it changes anything. I will try once again. Yeah, it actually does change something. But I'll leave it for later. I just don't want to do too much CSS at this point. Okay, let's save the changes, git status, git add all, git commit main, frontend validations for forms, git push. Okay, and actually another thing that we were having a problem with in the previous video was our seeds. So seeds.rb, and I had an issue setting a random user, and we can actually try doing user.all.sample. So it would give us a random user. Let's try doing that. I will create a few users in the console, Rails console. So just creating a few users, I will say user.count. Now I will say user.all.sample. And you see it's giving me a random user. So I can just assign the user as user.all.sample. Okay. And now I can try recreating the seeds. So exit railsdb seed. Okay, and it seems to be working. And another thing is, as Alexander noted in his PRs, it would be good to add uniqueness to faker. So here we would add the faker, like name, for example, unique. In the cases where we validate uniqueness, for example, in our inbox name. So in seeds, here we have faker internet email unique. Let's see if this works. Rails console. Okay, it's working with unique, and we're going to have a unique email, and we're going to have a unique inbox name. And also, as Alexander noted again in his PR, that Faker quote famous last words can have some cases where the quote is longer than what we want. So we can use actually some kind of other Faker generator for our inbox that has a validation on the length. So for example, okay, it was not for the text area, it was for the inline. Okay, yeah, let's try that. I see Alexander added some more comments. So we'll try that in a moment. Anyway, let's finish with seeds. Gem Faker lorem. Let's try some lorem that is definitely under 100 symbols. So Faker lorem. Now this is not the most comfortable way to have a look at lorem, but let's say Faker lorem question, word count, and we'll add a few words. Word count 5, and we will say unique. Let's just ensure that it works. Yeah, so it is working. Okay, let's now regenerate our seeds. Exit RailsDB seed. Okay, and it seems to be working. So we delete all our messages, inboxes, users, then we generate a few random users, we generate a few inboxes for each user, and a few messages for each inbox. Looks good. And another thing that was noted by Alexander, thanks again, in the PR. So if we go up, there is this return unless Rails environment development. Now, here's a good thing. Occasionally, you might run seeds in production. And there are cases when you will want to run seeds in production, but in 99% of applications you would not. And you don't want to delete your production data by running seeds. So we can add a line like this on top of our seeds for us not to occasionally run RailsDB seed in production. Now again, I can say RailsDB seed. It should work well in development, but not in production. Okay, so git status, git add all, git commit main, improve seeds, git push. Okay, now let's have a look at our application on Heroku. So it is askdem@herokuapp.com, and let's add a real domain to it. So I have the application running here, and I've got Namecheap. I've got a domain askdemos.com on Namecheap, so I'm going to try to connect it. Now here is the domain. I will go to settings. I'm going to add a domain. I will say askdemos.com as a cell later. I was given a DNS target. And now going to the advanced DNS on Namecheap. So previously I already had some records for Heroku when I was trying it out. I'm going to delete these and add the new DNS target. So you see, the host at means the bare domain without www, without any subdomain. www is also actually like a subdomain. So yeah, I will delete this CNAME. I will delete this CNAME with www. I'm going to add a new record. CNAME, host will be at because I added the domain without any subdomain, and this is going to be the Heroku DNS target. Okay, save changes, going back to domains, and I'm going to add one more domain, www.askdemos.com. Next, I was given another DNS target, and I'm going to go and add a new CNAME record, www at the DNS target, and accept. And now if I try to open the domain, will it work or not? We're having trouble finding the site, so maybe it still just doesn't work. Let's try the other one. Yeah, it works, but you see we don't not have SSL working yet. So we'll need to do something on the Heroku side, on the Let's Encrypt side, and on our application side. First of all, I'm going to go to our application and close all the tabs that I'm not using at the moment, and open production.rb. And here we have this config force SSL true. So we're going to enforce using SSL. Okay, now I say git status, git add all, git commit main force SSL in production. Okay. Now git push Heroku main, and in the meantime I'm going to try to add a paid tier on Heroku. Okay, I'm going to edit it here or not, change dynotype. Yeah, change dynotype, and I'm going to make it hobby. And the application is going to run without sleeping, so there will be no boot times. And importantly, we are going to also have SSL configured by default. So it's quite cheap, it fits many applications, and now we will just make SSL work. So you see, it has also automatically added this SSL. The certificate is managed by Heroku, and now I will refresh MMC status, so meaning SSL should be working correctly. In the meantime, I finished pushing to Heroku, I will refresh, and you see I was redirected to HTTPS, the domain works, and do not have any SSL problems. So, seems to be working well. We've configured Heroku, SSL, Let's Encrypt, added the paid tier, and it all took us just a minute. Now looking back at our domain settings, here I have the other TXT records and CNAMEs for Amazon SaaS. It is because I've already verified the domain on Amazon. So if I open my AWS SES account, on this account I have a few domains set up. So I've verified these domains, Ask Demos. You see it is already verified, and Amazon SaaS is ready for me to be sending emails from this domain. Okay, actually going back to the comments. There was a comment about padding 5 pixels, 10 pixels for this inline input. Let's try adding it now. So going to inbox form, new inbox. Okay, let me sign up once again. And I will try adding this style. So it would be padding 5 pixels, 10 pixels. Let's see. Yeah, actually looks a bit nicer. Let's just compare before and after. Can I comment it out this way? I think I can. So before and after. Yeah, it does look actually a bit better. Thank you, Alexander. And yeah, let's save our changes. Git status, git add all, git commit main, style, inbox, input, form. Okay, so we've got Heroku kind of working. Nice, and let's see. Actually, I've created a small checklist of things we need to do to make the application production ready. So we've got the inbox additional settings, we've got some front-end input field validations. It's what I've actually just done. So I will move it to done. Then I have, what else? Let's start with something easy, gem meta tags. So yeah, actually we're going to add meta tags to our application so that crawlers as Google, for example, know what to expect on the website, and so that we have nicer names of different pages on the application. So let's install the gem meta tags. Now I'll also close all the windows that I'm not using at the moment. I'll actually save this for later. Okay, so gem meta tags. Let's see how we can install it. So I take the gem meta tags and yeah, add it to the gem file. So bundle add meta tags. Let's see. Then next I would add Rails generate meta tags install. It created the initializer. Let's try opening it. So what do we have? We can configure title limit, keywords limit. Okay, let's go further with the tutorial. So in a layout file, we're going to add the set meta tags thing. Anyway, I've done this before so that we don't spend a lot of time on it. I'm going to go through my nodes. So here I have meta tags, and what are we going to do? We've generated meta tags install. Now in our application HTML, we're going to set some general meta tags that will be available around across all our applications. So going to layout, application HTML. I think in the head, we're going to say display meta tags, site name, then description. So user feedback. Let's say collect user feedback or user feedback app. Okay, then keywords would be Q&A. Do they need to have a comma? Yeah, Q&A, user feedback. Yeah, Q&A and feedback. That would be enough for right now. We can have a look at other sites like the top 10s, for example, and see what meta tags they are using. Let's go to head. So title top 10 lists, add top 10s. description, vote. So let's say vote on lists or create your own list, whatever. Then let's have a look at some tags, if there are any visible on top. Okay, I don't see any tags. Well, never mind. We've got the description, we've got a few keywords, and also you see I've added reverse true. Now, what does this reverse true thing do? It's going to add the name of our website on the end. So let's say we want to add a specific name to a specific page. Let's add set meta tags title to a specific page. Yeah, actually I will maybe also remove this title so that it is overridden by display meta tags. Site, description, keywords, let's see if it works. Let's try to override the site name. Okay, so it does get overridden in the meta tags. Okay, and now going to another view, let's go to our inboxes controller. And here I would set meta tags inboxes all, for example. And how will it look? Let's inspect the element, go to head. And do we have a title or not? I will see here. Let's see, do we have a title? Title ask demos, but it is not what we want. We want to have a custom title like this. Why doesn't it work? Maybe we need to restart the server. Okay, because I'm on the wrong page, sure, yeah. So now I'm going to inboxes index, and you see we have all inboxes as demos. So makes sense, and yeah, it's working. So you see, I said reverse in our application layout, reverse true, meaning we're going to have the name of the application in the end. And if we've got a lot of tabs of this specific application, it'll be easier to navigate, not just see the name of the application first. We will first see the name of the specific page we are on. So we can just say inboxes, let it be inboxes, and the name of the application. Okay, are there any other good settings to add? Config title limit and truncate site title first, true. Yeah, I'm going to also add these. True, and config title limit, let it be 100, for example, or 120. Oh no, 100. Okay, now I will restart the server once again and also set some meta tags for our show action. So here we have our inboxes show action. We have set meta tags title, and the title is going to be add inbox.name. So if I go to an inbox, you see we have the name of the inbox. So looks good, makes sense. And this way, if we want, we can add the inboxes to meta tags to other pages. So in this new page, I will set that the meta tag is going to be new inbox or add inbox or create inbox, doesn't really matter. Then in show we have the name of the inbox. In edit, let's go and try editing one of the inboxes. So I will create an inbox, go to edit. and set the meta tag. Actually, we can try doing it as controller name. Let's say controller name and action name. So this should give us something like inbox edit. Let's change the order. Let's say edit inbox. Let's see if it works. Now let's make it capitalize. So we have edit, but it should be not inboxes. It should be singularize. So Ruby singularize. Is there something like this? Yeah, there is something like singularize. So I would say dot singularize. It should be edit inbox, and I will also add the capitalize. So controller name, capitalize, and singularize. And you see we programmatically made this name more generic. I will do the same with our new action. So let's see. I will go to new inbox. We have new inbox. Looks good. And we can do something like this with our index page. We can make it as just controller name dot capitalize. Let's make it like this. We don't need any more braces now. And going to inboxes, so it works. Looks good. Now we've set meta tags for index, for show, for new, edit. For create we don't need because it is a post. For update because it is a patch, I guess. For destroy because it is a destroy. So for all our index views we've set the meta tags. We can do the same for our other pages like homepage. Let it not have anything. For price and terms and privacy we will add some meta tags. So privacy, meta tag will be privacy. And no, here actually we have pricing. Or we can again use the controller name as we did here, just controller name capitalize or action name capitalize. Let's make it action name capitalize for pricing and for privacy and for terms. And you see we didn't have to override anything. So I go to pricing, terms, privacy, and the meta tag is set correctly. Looks quite nice. Let's also do the same for messages, and I think then we're kind of done with our meta tags. So in what cases do we see any message views? If we go to inboxes, only in the new message we have a view at the moment, but we don't really need it. A meta tag here because we are going to in the future create new messages inside an inbox without having this separate view. We are going to do it with Turbo. So I will undo. I will not do any meta tags on our messages. I will just save, git add all, git commit main, add meta tags, git push, and git push Heroku main. Okay, so we are done with one more task. We've added meta tags. Let's put this one into done. Okay, let's see what we can do next. So we've done push to Heroku, add custom domain, SSL paid tier. Good. We've added the proc file. Then, yeah, let's actually add some nice behaviors to our application. So let's start finally adding some turbo. Basically, what are we going to do first? So, for example, we've got an inbox, and we want to create messages directly in an inbox. Oh, I see Alexander says before action, set meta. Yeah, we can set meta as a before action, for example, in our static pages controller, here we can say before action set meta tags, but in the future we might want to override it, so I'm not going to do it now. Anyway, let's go back and add some turbo. So here we're going to make it so that we can add a message directly inside an inbox. And first we're going to render the message form inside the show view. So I'm going to go to views and inboxes, show, and here we are again not going to have just a link to new message. We're going to have a render inboxes messages form. Let's see if it works. Okay, it doesn't work because we don't have a message set, so I will say message will be message.new. Let's see if this works. Okay, so we have the message form, but we cannot, it will not work nicely yet. Let's say I will try to create a message with one symbol or something. It directs me to the other page where we get this error. So I don't want this redirect to happen. I want this error message to be visible right here. How can I do it? I'm going to go to our messages controller. And here in the create action, I'm going to say if message save or if message doesn't save, they're going to respond with the turbo format. So I would say format dot turbo stream, and then I would say render turbo stream dot update. Then we're going to update this form. Does the form actually have an ID at the moment or not? Let's see. So it doesn't have an ID at the moment. Let's try to add it into a div ID message form, something like this, or new message. Let's say new message, and we are going to update this div with a partial named inboxes messages form, and locales are going to be message will be at message. Let's just put it on a few separate lines so that it is a bit more visible. Something like this, I guess. So if we don't manage to save it, we're going to update it with this message. Otherwise, if message save, we will render turbo stream with the message will be message.new. Yeah, let me just put format turbo stream on top of HTML and let's see if it works. So we are on an inbox page at the moment. Here we have the inbox. And I press create message and I get an error. So unexpected sign. Maybe I should have, yeah, maybe I made a typo. Maybe it should be like this. Format turbo stream do. Then I will have an end statement. Then I would have render turbo stream. And here turbo stream dot update. Something like this. Let's just see if it works. I press create and it did not work. Okay, let's try without these braces. I press create message. It still doesn't... okay. Here I get an error. Let's say format turbostream do. And now I press create message. And something happens. So you see, I get this text. Yeah, actually, I just get this text. Inboxes and messages form. I don't render a partial. So how do I do it? Actually, I've made some notes on this before and I completely forgot the syntax. Let's have a quick look. It would be something like this. Yeah, I would have to say partial. Here and here. Hello, Lazikson. Okay, I press create message, and you see I was not redirected to a new page. So in the same page, just I got an update from TurboStream with this partial. And I get this message, body can be blank, body is too short. Okay, I will try to add a couple of symbols. I update, and you see I didn't have a full page refresh. Let's actually check that. I will add a couple of timers. I will add a timer here as equals time.zone.now and a timer here. And let's see, here I have two timers. I press create and you see, well, one was replaced. So all the actions we are doing are happening inside this frame and I don't get a full page reload. Nice. Now I will create a message that is valid and I get an error. So render TurboStream, then TurboStream.update. So again, it's just the syntax. Now it should work. Let's see. So hello world. I press and it looks like it did create. So you see I was given a new form, and now if I refresh, you see I have 4 messages and a message named hello world does exist. So I managed to create a message with Turbo and re-render the form. So what I have done now, I said if message save, we're going to first try to render the form of TurboStream, and I will render TurboStream, Turbo update this new message div ID with that has this render inboxes messages form. So I'm updating it with either a new form or the current form with the current messages errors. So something like this. It's working. All I did is again, I've added a unique div ID here. Then I say if the message has been saved, we update this div again with the partial inbox messages, and if success, we are rendering a new partial with a new message, or we are rendering the errors for the current message. So this is working. Let's save our changes. I will say git status, git add all, git commit main, turbo form to create messages inside inbox. Okay, and actually now we can possibly even remove this new view for our messages. Let's try doing that. I will go and delete, then go into messages controller. I will go and delete the action, and in our roots I will remove new. So let's see if it works now. Now this link to new message doesn't exist anymore. I'm just removing it. And what do I have? So here I have the form for a new message that is been rendered, and if I get any errors, they get rendered on the same page. So I don't need a page refresh, and I've totally removed all the views, all the separate views for our messages. So messages respond only to create and destroy at the moment. Okay, looks good. So let's say git status, git add all, git commit main, remove view templates for messages. Okay, and now let's add some more turbo. So here you see, when we add a new message, I press create, for example. Okay, it doesn't create because I don't have the server running. So I press create. You see, messages seem to be added somewhere, but they become visible only if I make a page refresh. So let's add the newly added messages to the message list right here. And let's also update the counter. Now let's start by just updating the counter. So here we have this message count. And how would we want to re-render it? We can actually give it a unique ID. Let's say div ID equals message counter. Inside I will put inbox messages count. And we're going to also update it whenever we save a message. So we will say TurboStream, and we're going to add a few actions inside this render TurboStream. We're going to have TurboStream update, new message, and we're going to also have TurboStream update, and we're going to update this div ID. Not with the partial, but with HTML, for example. Let's say, for example, hello world. And we don't need any locales here. Let's see if it works. So I create a message. Yeah, I should have added a comma here. So between this TurboStream update and between this TurboStream update. So let's say I create a message, and you see it was replaced with hello world. And I can try to replace it with the updated counter. So I would say inbox messages count, for example. Let's see if it will work without this HTML line. So I will refresh. I add some text, and you see it gets updated. So looks quite nice. And you see it is on a separate line in this div. So we might want to say span, not div. Let's see. And you see, whenever we add a new message, the counter gets updated. Looks fantastic in my opinion. Let's save the changes, git status, git add all, git commit main, update messages count when message created or on create. Okay, and now we're just using basic turbo streams inside the controller. And let's also actually add the message to the messages list. And let's see if it works for us. I'll start the server once again. And I'm going to add one more TurboStream action. So I will say TurboStream.prepend. So we have the actions as prepend, append, update, delete, and so on. And the prepend would add a partial or something on top of a list. So we're going to add the new message on top of all the other messages. I'm going to prepend. They're going to prepend to the ID. That is going to be... Now, actually, this partial doesn't have... this collection doesn't have an ID, I guess. Let's see. Going to inspect element. So this message has an ID, but there is no ID wrapping all these messages. So I will say div ID message list. Okay. Message list or messages list. Doesn't matter much. So we are going to prepend to the message list. We are going to use the partial that will be inboxes, messages, message, and the locales are going to be message will be at message. I think something like this should work. Okay, let's try it out. So the expected behavior now is going to be that when I add a message, it will be added to the top of the list. I press create, and you see the message was added to the top of the list. Fantastic. So you see, without any page refresh, I update just a few separate parts of the page with a turbo stream. I update the message count, I re-render the form, I add the message to the messages list. Looks very good to me. Let's save the changes. So git status, git add all, git commit main, add message to list on create. Okay, looks very good. And now let's also handle the destroy behavior. So going to our messages controller, you see we've added this render turbo stream inside our create action. We'll do something similar for destroy. So here we have render respond to format HTML, and we are also going to respond to the format turbo stream. And we are going to only have something like turbostream.destroy or remove. Actually made a few notes about it. Yeah, we would just have turbostream, remove, and the record. So turbostream, remove, message. And you see for remove we do not need anything else, only like turbostream, remove, message. Let's see if it works. So I will also add a timer to see if we are refreshing the page. I will say equals time.zone.now. Okay, now I'm going to destroy this inbox. Okay, I forgot an end statement somewhere, so I think here. Panologis pluralize, user errors count, сделать счетчик сообщений. В одном сообщении пишет один сообщение. Oh, yeah, actually, that is possible. We can also do pluralization here. That's what we will do next. But first, let's finish with destroying. So I press destroy, and you see messages are actually being destroyed, and we don't refresh the page. So you see, I've destroyed nearly all the messages. I destroyed one more. I've destroyed all the messages for this inbox, and we didn't have to refresh the page. But you see, there's another problem. The message count was not updated on destroy. So let's also fix this. I will also update the message count in this case. So here we have turbostream update, message counter. Yeah, and let's just fix the indentation a bit so that it doesn't span too many lines. Okay, now I will refresh and try to destroy a message. And you see, the messages count has changed. Looks nice. Git status, git add all, git commit main, update messages on inbox page on destroy. Okay, and now you see we've added quite a lot of turbo logic into our controllers. And we don't have to actually keep it all in the controller. We can also add a template. So a template that would be, for example, destroy.tubostream.erb. Let's try doing that. So here we have our messages controller, our messages inside the views. Let's try adding a new file that would be destroy.turbostream.erb. Okay, and I would try to move this turbostream remove and update into this destroy.turbostream.erb. So I would say equals turbostream.remove add message, something like this, and equals turbostream.update message counter. So this is in a turbostream.erb template, and instead of rendering all this, we can just say format.tubostream. So format.tubostream should find a template named destroy.tubostream.erb. Let's see if it works. I will start the server once again. Okay, let me try to destroy a message. And it's working. So you see, we can use this template, destroy tubostream.erb, and it would help us clean our controllers and have them a bit more skinny. And we know where we keep our tubostream logic for this specific page. So let's save the changes, git add all, git commit main, try using tubostream.erb template. Okay, and Alexander also says that there is a tiny bug. So let's see, we create a couple of messages and I refresh the page and you see the order has changed. So they are all ordered in some strange way by default. They are ordered. Yeah, let's actually add the, let's see what the order of the messages are. Let's say equals message created at. Let's see when the message was created. I will copy this creation strf time from our inbox and say message created at. Actually, I don't need the strf time that much here. So they are all ordered newest first, I guess. Let's try. I will create a new message. Yeah, so anyway, we need to have some kind of order. I want to have the newest messages on the top. And now you see I've added this new message. I refresh and you see the newest message is on the bottom. So I want to order them as, yes, thank you, Alexander, created at descending. Okay. Now we can actually try doing it in the modal. So there are a couple of ways of doing it. We can do it in the view, so collection inbox messages created at descending. We can do it inside the inboxes controller. So for example, inside inboxes controller, we can say in show messages equals inbox messages order created at descending, but we can also do it as a default inside the inbox controller. So here we have has many messages, and we can also say something as lambda order created at descending, something like this. Let's see if it works. Messages, comma. Okay, and even newer message. And you see the new ones are on top. If I refresh, the order is persisted. So we've added a default order inside our model, and I think it's like something that it's really cool being able to add this default order to associations in a model. But we should also sometimes be careful with adding all these default orders, because they can lead to some unexpected behaviors. So let's save our changes. Git status, git what did we do in our message. So I will just save this one, git commit main, default order for messages inside inbox. Okay, now let's actually style our message a bit. Okay, it says that there is a connection problem. Let's see. So let's save our changes. Git status. Okay, strange. I seem to hear myself or not. Yeah, there seems to be some connection problem. Let's see. Okay. Seems to be working for me. Anyway, let's try to continue. So where was I? Yeah, I wanted to do some basic styling for our message partial. Let's see, here we have the body, inbox, whatever. We don't need the inbox visible here because we are already inside an inbox. Let's go to our message partial. I will remove the ID. The inbox. Okay, we have the upvote, we have the score, we see who created the message. Let's do it in a similar fashion as we have inside our inbox. So we have by and when it was created. Message.user.email, message created at. Okay, so we have the content of the message, we have the upvote, we have the score. We'll make a break here. By the name of the user or the email of the user, when it was created, let's actually also add the time. So I would add the H and M, like hours and minutes. Let's maybe add it on the end. Okay, so we see when when a message was created, and here we have the full list of messages. So looks quite well. But now you see yeah, everything seems to be working. The update is working, or is it not? Let me create another message. It seemed to me that there was some kind of small lag. No, there isn't. Let's see, do we have anything strange in the logs? Yeah, in the logs everything seems to be working fine. So git add all, git commit main, simplify the style for message, git push. Heroku main, and let's see where we go. So yeah, we've added some turbo. Actually, I didn't add it to the list here. So let's make voting work via turbo. Now at the moment, if I press upvote, we'll get a full page reload. Trails us. So I press upvote, and each time we have a full page reload. I don't want a full page reload. I want to be able to upvote on many without jumping the page and without reloading the page. And let's do this. So how are we going to do it? Let's go to this upvote action in messages controller. and we will say that it should respond as a turbo stream, not respond as a redirect to inbox. And we can also simplify this logic a bit. Let's move this logic into the modal. So I will go to our message.rb, and actually I've done something really similar before in another application. Let's go to Vaishmarov, Super Rails. In this application, I've added nice voting to our posts. So going to controllers, to modals for post. Here we have the post controller, and here I have this upvote action, for example, and I just say post.upvote by current user. So let's copy some of this logic into our application here. I'll just copy this upvote, and here we have our messages. I will say upvote. It will be message upvote by current user. Again, we will still need to have this message equals inbox messages find params ID. Then we are not going to render vote.js ERB, because in this other application we are not using any turbo. We are using .js.erb files that do the same thing. They replace something. So if I go to posts, here you see we have these files like vote.js.erb, and we find elements by ID, and we replace them with some kind of partial. So this is basically what we are doing with Turbo. Instead of having this .js.erb files, we are doing everything the Turbo way. So anyway, we are going to have an upvote action inside our message.rb. Let's have a look at how upvote looks inside our other application. And here I will add upvote. If user voted up on this message with a vote scope, yeah, let's actually add the vote scopes. Unvote, else upvote. Okay. So skinny controller, fat modal. That's what we are doing right now. If we're not going to run the vote.js.erb, we can potentially want to render this flash, but let's do it. Yeah, let's actually try leaving the flash for now. I'm removing all this logic, and for now I will just leave this redirect to inbox. In this step we are first of all not adding turbo, we are first of all making it work well with just the Rails CRUD. So we have the upvote action that we have just basically refactored. We've moved the logic into our message.rb, and the upvote is going to only either upvote or unvote on a message. Now let's say Rails server and try voting once again. So I will just destroy all the messages. Create a message. Okay, you see, there is some kind of strange error. If I refresh, yeah, for some reason there was still one message. And now again, it didn't update nicely. So there does seem to be some kind of lag. For some reason, I didn't update the messages count. Yeah, that's really strange. Why doesn't the message count get updated? For some reason, it stopped working. Let's see. So inbox messages count. Yeah, for some reason it stopped working. I wonder why. Anyway, let's come back to this one later. Let's not work on two things at the same time. I will see if upvote works. So here I press upvote. And yes, the voting does seem to work. But again, we still have this full page refresh. So for now, what I will say that we've slightly refactored the voting. Let's actually also add the downvote option if we want. Do we want to add it? I think not now. Let's say git status, git add all, git commit main refactor, voting. Okay, and going to acts as votable, there is possibly another thing that we need to do. Let's go to schema, posts. So here we have cached scoped like votes total, and let's go to acts as votable gem. You see we started adding not just unvote by or upvote by, but I also added this vote scope like. So we need to also update it inside our database. Here we have the migration, add cached votes to posts, and we want to add not just cached votes to posts, we want to add cached scoped like votes to the posts. Something like this. So let's try doing that. Here we have cached votes, and we want to have add cached votes as cached liked votes. But we can also do this one a bit later. I think it's working the way we have it now. Let's just focus on making turbo work for now. So you see, voting works. Did I save the changes, get status? Yes, I did. And now let's make it work with turbo. So we're going to say respond to do format dot turbo stream. We are not going to have this redirect to inbox, and with this format turbo stream we will say do then we will say render turbo stream braces if we want to have more than one turbo stream, but usually I add these braces. And I will say turbo stream dot update, and I'm just going to replace this DOM ID of this message. So I'm going to totally replace this message with itself. You see, at the moment, if I go to inspect element, each message has a DOM ID. Why is it so? Because if I go to views, message, you see, still from the scaffold, each one was given a DOM ID message. So I'm going to update the message with the partial inbox messages form. Actually, I'll just copy this. Update with the partial inbox messages form, locales message will be at message. Something like this. Let's, oh, it's going to be not form, again, copy pasting is not nice. The partial is going to be message. So it's going to replace itself with itself when I add this action, and we are going to update only this tiny piece of the page. Let's see if it works. I'll press upvote, and it seems to be actually working. But you see, I'm using update, and I get this weird behavior. You see, it gets rendered in itself. So what if I say replace? And it works well with replace. So now I can vote without a page refresh. And when I vote one time, I vote up. When I change the vote, I just unvote. So works nice. And let's maybe also update the text inside the message vote button. We have the button to upvote, and let's make this text conditional. So we will have a condition like if current user voted up on this message, we will have the unvote. Let's just try doing it in in the text and then do it inside the button. If current user voted up on message, we will have unvote, else if current user dot else it's going to be upvote in this case. Let's see if this gets updated at the moment. So I press up. It does not get updated for some reason. I wonder why. So if user voted up on unvote, let's maybe try once again. So if current user voted up on the message, we have the unvote, else upvote. Yeah, this should kind of work. Anyway, we can do it a bit later. I will just leave it for later. So for now, I've already done it so that we can upvote or unvote on a message. Let's save the changes and get status. Git add all, git commit main, vote with turbo. Let's once again see if we have any errors in the logs, just in case. I press upvote. And in the logs, everything seems to be okay. Okay, so yeah, we've added the voting with the turbo. Looks quite nice to me. And let's just see. There is another problem. Flash doesn't render. So you see, I do some kind of action, like I create a message, for example. I see that the message has been added, but I have no Flash notification that the message has been added. Why is it so? Because at the moment, if we look at the messages controller, we have this Flash message as notice, for example, rendered only in the HTML format. So we would also want to render some kind of Flash messages with turbo. Okay, so yeah, let's add the Flash messages with turbo. And how we're going to do that? So we already have a Flash messages partial inside our layout. Here we have our layout application HTML. Let's actually move the Flash messages partial under the navigation. Let's see how it works. I will create a new inbox. Create inbox. Okay, it is under the navigation, looks a bit better. Yeah, and let's make it so that it gets updated when I add a message. How can I do that? Let's see. Let's go to our messages controller, and we are going to also add Flash for format turbo. Now we're going to say flash.now. The difference between flash something and flash.now is that flash now is going to be available only in this action, not in the redirect. So we will say flash now.notice, and we'll add some text like message, and we'll say message.id created. Let's see if it does anything. So I'll refresh, let's say create message. Okay, I should say add message. I'm creating a message, and you see nothing really happened. So the Flash did not re-render. And I will add it as a turbo stream now. So I will update the Flash with a turbo stream. And let's say turbo stream.update. Then we will take the ID of our Flash, And does our flash actually have an ID? I think it doesn't. Let's go to our shared flash. So the flash doesn't have an ID. Let's add an ID to the flash. I would add it into a DOM, for example. So div ID flash. Okay, and now we are just going to update this flash with something. Let's see, with the partial shared slash flash and comma. Let's see if it works. I create a message and you see it says message created. I create another message and flash gets updated. I go to another page and we don't have this flash because we have flash now but not just flash. If I have just flash without flash now, let's say I will create a message, I get the flash, I go to another page and I still have this flash. So the difference between flash and flash now is that flash now is available only on this current action. So looks nice to me. This way we can add the flash to basically anything we want. So here we have flash for notice created. Let's add flash for an error. Let's add flash now for tubostream.update. So yeah, for the edit action, if we have to re-render the edit. So let's see. Here I will just have something went wrong. Let's try once again. I press create message. Okay. What was the problem? Let's see. I press create message. And I must have made some kind of typo. Yeah, I just didn't add braces here to be able to have a few streams. Let's make it like this. I will add a message that doesn't work, and you see we get this flash, something went wrong. But you see it is a notice, so I will say flash alert. I press create once again, and you see I didn't even have to refresh the page. It only refreshed the flash. So you see we have this flash alert, something went wrong. Works quite nice. And we can also add some kind of flash for our destroy action. So here we will have flash notice in message destroyed. Okay, let's see if this works. So we have format tubostream, and we can also add this tubostream update into our destroy turbo.erb. Let's go to our views, inboxes, messages, destroy tubostream erb. We will also say so the tag tubostream update flash. And let's try to destroy, and you see it works. Let's also add the ID of the message that was destroyed to see that it is definitely dynamic. So let's add the message.id destroyed. Now let's try to destroy another message, and works. And let's also add this kind of flash for voting. So I'll add this flash notice for upvote. Yeah, we already have this flash notice voted. So let's just add the flash tubostream update flash. Let's see if it works. So I will refresh, I press upvote, it works, I press destroy. So you see, flash gets updated and I don't have to refresh the page. Looks good. Let's save the changes. So git status, git add all, git commit main, flash messages with turbo, git push. Okay, looks good to me. Now let's actually simplify our flash messages a bit. So you see we're using the same kind of code, TurboStream update flash all around. And we can move it into a separate before action and just have something like render turbo flash, something like render turbo flash instead. And just add this instead of this longer code everywhere. So I would say something like render turbo flash, and I would move this TurboStream update and so on into our application controller, for example. Let's try doing that. I'll go to our application controller. I will say def render turbo flash. Here I would say TurboStream update and so on. Okay, and let's see if it works. So here in our messages controller, instead of this line, we can just have render turbo flash, but we still need the comma, I guess. So let's see if it works. I press upvote. It works. Yeah, it's working. So we can clean up our code a bit, and you see it is something that we can use across all our controllers. Render turbo flash. So here, here, and it's fine to not change anything in the destroy turbostream.erb. So we could say like render turbo flash here inside this TurboStream update, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, it should be working well now. So you see, it's kind of some SPA, single page add behavior that we've got here. No page refreshes for editing messages, for creating messages, everything is happening inside an inbox. Git status, git add all, git commit main, abstract, common turbo behavior. Okay, and now we haven't run bundle execute Robocop for quite a while, so I think there are some things Robocop can improve in our controller, especially this controller that we've been working on for so long. So let's say bundle exec Robocop. And there are quite a lot of offenses. So let's first fix the ones that can be fixed just as cosmetic changes. Okay, now let's run bundle execute Robocop. Okay, so we have please specify an inverse of option inside inbox.rb. Let's actually save the changes that were done automatically by Robocop and then fix the other ones on our own. Let's have a look at the diff. So again, cosmetic changes here, and you see it changed the syntax, not referrer, but referrer with one R. I hope it doesn't break anything. Let's say Rails request referrer. Yeah, so it's fine to have referrer with one letter R. Okay, then messages controller. So again, it's all cosmetic. Git status, the message model, cosmetic change, and inbox policy, also a tiny cosmetic change. So git add all, git commit main, Robocop, auto correct. And now again, I will run bundle execute Robocop and fix the errors that could not be fixed automatically. So inside inbox.rb, we have this specify an inverse of option. So we have dependent destroy and inverse of inbox. Yeah, so nothing real special here. Inverse of inbox. Let's say bundle execute Robocop. And this error is not present anymore. And now we have matrix method length, matrix ABC size too high inside our messages controller. So it says that our controllers are too fat. Well, actually this does look like quite a fat controller. So we can decide to clean it up now, we can decide to do it later, we can decide to do nothing, we can like say that Robocop can ignore it. And yeah, actually it's something I would just want to leave for later. I just don't want to deal with it right now. Okay, again, bundle execute Robocop. Nothing to change, git status, so git add all, git commit main, Robocop, add inverse of. Okay, git push. And let's see if the behaviors also work on Heroku. So if our turbo works on Heroku. So Rails server. Oh, actually, I'll just go to Heroku and try adding a few messages. So yeah, I have an inbox. I will add the first message. So what video do I want to see? Turbo plus device. Create message. I'm not sure if there was a page refresh or not, but looks fine for now. Let's upvote. Yeah, so seems to be working well. Let me, yeah, would maybe also want to add the editing functionality with Turbo. For now, it's not working with Turbo for editing an inbox. But anyway, it seems to be working okay on Heroku for now. And going back to this small problem I had with our messages, where I wanted to change this button to behavior. Let's change it to something like button to upvote inbox message. Then we would have something like method patch, so no changes here. And I would just add a block, so do and I would have some conditional text. So I would have something like message dot voted by current user, and we would have something like unvote or upvote. Let's see if something like this would work. So the point is I want to have the button updated automatically. Okay, this does not work. I should add a comma. We don't have voted by. Let's see. Voted by. Now, how do we check if a user has voted for a specific message? User voted for comment. Okay, the same analogy I can use current user dot voted for message, something like this. undefined method ID for unvote string. Okay, doesn't matter that much. Actually, I made some notes on this one too beforehand, so let's just see. Turbo. So turbo, typed content no, increment like count, maybe the other one, button to update status, so we are going to use this one. Okay, doesn't matter. I don't want to focus on tiny problems right now. I can do it a bit later. Git clean ft, git reset hard, git status, git push. Let's see our main branch on GitHub, Vaishmarov, ask demos. Okay, so we are up to date. Let's actually also add the link to Heroku, askdemos.com. So I will add it to the description of the repository, save changes. Okay, and let's actually see what we had in our master plan for the application. So yeah, let's also make it so that we can select a color for an inbox. That's something I wanted to do. So some basic theme in each inbox can have a different color. And we are going to save the color in the database, and we are going to add an HTML mtn color picker. So input type would be color. Now let's say Rails input type color. And we can really use just color field. Does it really work? Wow. Let's see. I'll go to new inbox and just make the name a color field. I'm going to the form. I will add the form color field name. I'll make it form. Yeah, and we can select the color. Looks cool. So let's try to add a color. So git status, and I'm going to add a color attribute to our inboxes table. So Rails generate migration, add color to inboxes, color string. Okay, let's have a look at our migration. So add color to inboxes, color string, null can be true or false, can it? Let's say null false and default. And I wonder, how are these colors actually saved? Are they saved as hex or RGB, or how they saved? Let's see. Let's say I will save RailsDB migrate. RailsDB migrate. Okay, I've done the migration. Now I will start the server. I'll make it so that we can persist a color in the database. So going to inboxes controller, we have permit name, we will also permit color. Then I will add this form color field color. Let's save it. So I'm creating an inbox with a color. I'll select one of the colors, create inbox, and let me display the color. Let's see how it was saved. I'm going to inboxes, inbox, and somewhere on top I will say equals inbox.color, and I will see how it was saved. So it was saved as such a code. it's a hex color. Okay, so we're going to add some kind of hex color by default. Let's add some kind of default color. What is the color of our application? It's going to be some kind of like yellowish or orange color. So let it be this color, for example. It's going to be the default color in our application for all the inboxes. Let's say get status, Rails be rolled back. Now in the migration, it will be just color. It's going to be theme. Maybe let's name it as a theme or theme color. Let's make it theme color string, null false. Default is going to be this color. Let's also say add theme color here in the migration, and here add theme color. Okay, now I will run the migration again, Rails DB migrate. And now hello pilot. Hello pilot. Okay, so get status. Let's see. I can now open any inbox. We'll have not color but theme color. Okay, so theme color, also in the form, also in the inbox view. Let's refresh and it works. Let's go to edit. We have this color. Let's see if it gets saved and displayed nicely in the edit. It does. So this way we can edit a theme color for our inbox. Looks pretty nice in my opinion. So let's try to override their color. We have the class scaffold record. Let's also try adding a style. Style background color will be, let's say, green. Let's see if this will work. Style, let's say color green. We have a class, we have a style. Let's say CSS style color. Or let's say CSS style background color. So for some reason it didn't work for us just now. Okay, yeah, I just should have changed the syntax. Okay, so the color is green. Let's say background color. So it's green for us, and let's make the background color the one we have in the inbox theme color. So like this, and it seems to be working. Okay, now I will edit the color. Let's make it like this, for example, update color. And it's working. So yeah, this way the users, the creators of the inboxes will be able to kind of add some basic branding to their inboxes with selecting their color. Now it still has a lot that can be done in terms of styling, but this is a good start in my opinion. Let's just try going to any other inbox. You see all of them now have a default color. Now looks actually a bit ugly, but it's a good start. I'll just make it span a few lines so that we see all the styles that we are applying. Okay, so looks kind of fine. Let's say git status, git add all, git commit main, add theme color to inboxes, git push Heroku main. And we've done one more check. So we've added inbox color theme selector. Actually, I've kind of done the same thing twice here. I'm going to remove one of them. So inbox color, theme selector, moving it to the down column. And what else do we have? So rag attack, so that lots of bots cannot sign up, or lots of people from the same IP address at the same time. Then we're going to add some captcha so that bots do not sign up to the application. Device confirmable for users that are signing up with an email to be able to know that these are real people, real users. Footer on the bottom. Yeah, there was a branch by Alexander with this function, but I would like to test it on my own once again and understand the code a bit more before I do it. But basically calculating the height looks kind of good. Okay, then I will also add cached vote to message table, not just vote. It's something I can do later on. So capture device confirmable, foot on the bottom. Actually, it's going to be interesting to try adding OmniAuth to a Rails 7 app in which we were trying to add the device in a quite hacky way. So let's try to do that. Let's try to add GitHub OmniAuth. And it's going to be quite fast. I've done it many times and I've already created some notes on how to do it. So let's see. Social login with GitHub. I'm going to install the gem OmniAuth GitHub and CSFR protection to make OmniAuth 2.0 work. Bundle. Okay, then in device.rb we need to add our keys. So device.rb. GitHub. So here we will have app ID and app secret. Let's go and get them. I'm going to go to this URL. Okay, I'm going to, yeah, it's the same as going to settings, developer settings, new GitHub app. It's actually not a GitHub app, no, it's something different. I go to developer settings, OAuth app, and here I'm going to add a new OAuth app. So I will say ask demos. The homepage URL is going to be askdemos.com. This one. Then we're going to have a callback URL that is going to be /users auth GitHub callback. Ask and vote create inboxes, let users add messages and vote. Let's also maybe try adding a logo, or actually I don't have any logo quickly available, so we can do it later on. Yeah, now we have this client ID. I will add the client ID here, and we will need to get a secret key. I will generate a secret key, also add it here, but it's not a nice way to keep our secret keys, so I will start using Rails credentials. I'm going to go and say editor vim Rails credentials, edit, escape, enter, set, paste. Okay, set, paste, I. Now I'm going to say we're going to have this key, so we'll have Omni auth, then we will have GitHub, then we will have ID. It's going to be this one, and we'll have a secret that will be this one. Okay, and let's save the path. It will be rails.credentials.dig. Then we will have OmniAuth, GitHub, and then key or ID or secret. I escape, this time WQ to exit and save. Let's just see. Okay, worked. Now Rails console. I'll see if I can access these keys. Let's see, Rails credentials dig. Okay, it should be rails.application.credentials dig, and it works. Rails.application.credentials dig. Let's run it 2 times, so we get the ID. Now we can get the secret, and we will say config OmniAuth GitHub, comma, and we will have this key and this key. So we'll just need a comma here. Okay, so this way we've obfuscated, we've hidden the credentials for GitHub ID and secret, and they won't be just available to anybody on GitHub. Exit status. So we've installed OmniAuth, we've added the callbacks, we've added the API keys. Now we'll need to add the authentication behavior. So I'm going to go to our routes.rb, and here we have device for users. We will say that we are using controllers, and we are using OmniAuth callbacks as users OmniAuth callbacks. Okay, so we are going to create this controller. We are going to go and create this full path. We are going to create the folder users inside our controller, and inside a controller named OmniAuth callbacks controller. Okay, now again we are just going to add this OmniAuth behavior. So we are handling OmniAuth with GitHub only for now. Then handle authentication. So if a user is present from the OmniAuth, then we log in. Otherwise, we do not, and we redirect to the new user registration URL with an alert to user errors full messages. Okay, and we have this user.from OmniAuth. So we need to add this from OmniAuth inside our user.rb. Let's go to user.rb, and we are going to add this from OmniAuth method. And we also need to add the OmniAuthable. So I'm copying this. Good that I've done it before. I'll add the relationships on top. Okay, so OmniAuthable, OmniAuth provides GitHub. From GitHub, so we find the user, then we create the user if there is no user present, and we can conditionally update some data from our user's GitHub page. But for now we don't have these columns, so let's just create a user if it's possible. Okay, I think it's all we need for right now to be able to log in with a social provider like GitHub. So let's see. It doesn't work. OmniAuthable syntax error. Okay, again, it's a problem of copy paste. I forgot a comma here. Rails server. Okay, let's log out and log in. I will select sign in with GitHub. Not found authentication pass-through. Why is that? Because we might have the wrong link. Let's go to our device views. We have links, and we have this link to sign in with OmniAuth something, method post. And I think it should be button 2. Let's just confirm. I've had another post recently about OmniAuth, and here I was still using an old version, I guess. So I was using link to, not button to. So we need to have button to sign in, method post, not link to, but button to. Let's see if it works. Rails server. Going back, I press sign in with GitHub. Does anything happen? Nothing happened. So I will try adding data turbo false. I will refresh, press sign in with GitHub, and it's kind of working. But you see, I get this page you're looking for does not exist because I'm trying to redirect to the production from a development environment. So I will want to have separate GitHub login for development and for production. Or actually for right now, I can first try just making it work in my local host. So I will add the localhost URL here and here. Update application. Now going back, sign in with GitHub, and it works. So authorize, and fantastic, I managed to sign in with GitHub in a Rails 7 alpha application. And there wasn't much magic, just I had to change link to button to, and say data turbo false so that we actually definitely get a redirect to the page that we are expecting. Okay. So let's save our changes. Get status, git add all, git commit main, sign in with GitHub. And let's also add a few GitHub fields, so we will know that we've signed in with GitHub. We'll see the logo of the user and so on. So I'm going to add a line as Rails generate migration, add OmniAuth data to users, name, image, provider, UID. Let's add this. And here I have add OmniAuth data. So the name that the user has on GitHub, his image, so the provider is GitHub. It will be either GitHub or Facebook or whatever the OmniAuth provider we are using. The UID is going to be the unique ID of the user on GitHub in this case. So let's say Rails db migrate. And going back to our user.rb, we are just going to say that we want to save these attributes whenever a user logs in. So whenever a user logs in, we update the name, image, provider, and UID. Again, Rails server. I will log out. Now I will again log in with GitHub. Okay, and let's see if we saved these attributes. I will go to Rails console, user.lost, and here you see I have the name, the image, the provider is GitHub, and the unique GitHub ID. So works quite well. Now let's display these attributes, and I already had some code ready for this. So let's go to our navigation. Here we have our navigation, and somewhere here we will add the user data. So link to inboxes, new inbox, if signed in. We have the email. Let's clean it up. We'll have the image, we'll have the name, UID, and provider. Let's try displaying all of them. Okay. So I've logged in with GitHub, I see my GitHub ID, I see that I've logged in with GitHub, my GitHub name, and my GitHub avatar. Okay, looks quite good. Let's try logging in with a user that is not logging in via GitHub. So a regular user. Let's sign up. Okay, and you see I don't have all of those displayed. So works quite well. Let's save the changes. Git status, git add all, git commit main, save data from GitHub on login, git push, and git push Heroku main. And now we've added GitHub social login to our application so that a user doesn't have to invent a password confirmation, remember it somewhere. He'll just be able to log in with GitHub if he has a GitHub account. And we see we have one user that did log in with GitHub. And actually the thing that we need to do is have a separate application for GitHub in development and production, because here you see with this URL nobody will be able to log in production with GitHub. So for now I'll go and say, I'll go to the application, ask demos.com. Yeah, it's still been pushed to, that's why I cannot open the application, I guess. Okay, so I will copy this back and add this URL here and here. Hello, Sunny. Nice to see you. So approximately 20 minutes ago, we've added a lot of turbo to make it look as an SPA on the inboxes index. Basically, if you go to inboxes and yeah, let's log in. So I've logged in. I can go to an inbox. I can add a message. And you see, without even a page refresh, I update the flash, I update the messages count, I add the message to the list. And the cool thing is that it's happening without a full page refresh. Only some partial things have been refreshed. You see, I vote, and only this piece of the page is being refreshed. I destroy, and it's happening without a full page refresh. So that is the power of Turbo. So I've just added the social login with GitHub. It's working. Okay, and what do I want to do next? Let's have a look at the master plan. So I've added the GitHub OmniAuth. And this will be something much later. Then Amazon says emails in production will have to be added right after we add the device confirmable for users that want to log in with an email address. Then plausible analytics to see how many people visit the website. Let's actually try adding this one. Let's say plausible IO. So here I already have, yeah, just this week I've added tracking with plausible to my blog. Okay, Francisco, I just wanted to thank you. Thank you for your tutorials, lessons. I landed my first job as a raw developer. Wow, Francisco, congratulations, Francisco. I'm really happy. You know, getting your first job as a developer is always the hardest, but as long as you're already in the system, it's going to be much, much easier. So, congratulations, Francisco. Okay, so I've added plausible analytics to my blog, and now I will add it to this website. Let's go. I will say askdemos.com. Autocorrect, I don't like you. Add snippet. Now I'm going to add the snippet inside the application html.erb. I think in the head, and I will add it if the environment is production. So if Rails env.production. Just in case, so that it doesn't work in development. Okay, let's confirm that I've got the right syntax here. Rails console, and say Rails env production false, Rails env development true. Okay, so this syntax is correct. We can leave it and say git status, git add all. Is there anything else we need to do? So waiting for the first page view. Git status, git commit main, add plausible analytics, git push, and push to Heroku. Now, I'm not going to open the Heroku application on my local device now. I'm not going to refresh it. I will wait for somebody to be first to visit the application. It'll be interesting. Or maybe, yeah, maybe actually I should, just to be sure that the analytics is set up correctly. Anyway, let's see who is first. So basically, if you go to askdemos.com, I should be able to see that somebody is visiting the website at the moment from here. Wow! Somebody did. Who was it? Please comment. Okay, let's see the country. It was from the United Kingdom. Cool. So plausible analytics is working. I see that somebody visited the user's sign-in page. 2 page views, so the root path and user's sign-in. Yeah, that's really cool. So plausible analytics is working. Let's add it to the done folder. Okay. And what else do we need to do? Footer on the bottom, we'll do it later. Polymorphic comments later. Logo and thumbnail, I don't have them readily available at the moment, so later. Then fix faker, uniqueness, random user for message. This one has been fixed. So, oh, hello Tom, yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. So Tom was the first. And I might be the second, so is it updating or not? It might actually know that it's me visiting, so not update if it's me. Oh, 3 current visitors, cool. Yeah, plausible is actually really cool. And how you see, it doesn't show a thumbnail of this website because I didn't add a thumbnail here. So I'll need to add some kind of thumbnail to the application. And I have it in the to-do. So to add a logo and thumbnail, then captcha, record tag, device confirmable, Amazon SES. And actually, what if we add a Kanban board into our application? So here, for example, if we go to inboxes, so for example, an owner of an inbox will be able to categorize messages. So each message will be able to have a status. A status can be, for example, like new message, then a message that was, let's say, reported as spam or blocked, whatever. For example, somebody says something, some profanities, then like to do. For example, if it is a user feedback kind of application. So, for example, you're building an application and users can submit features that they want to have in the application. And you can show that this idea is in a to-do, this one is done. So, yeah, we can add the message statuses. Let's add message statuses and also update the message based on the status. Let's say git status, Rails generate migration, add status to message. Status will be a string. Yeah, 19 page views, that's a lot. Inboxes, pricing, you see, I see everything. We have UK, Poland, Okay, so Rails generate migration. Let's look at this migration of status. So status string, default, we'll say null will be false, and default, so incoming on new, let's say new message. So a message that hasn't been, let's say, reviewed by the host of the application or the host of this inbox yet. So this way it will be easier to see and categorize the messages that are incoming. And again, like the whole idea of this application is that I've got, for example, a YouTube channel, and people who are viewers can submit ideas, like video ideas, into this inbox and vote for these ideas. And I'll be able to say like, okay, I'm doing this one, I've done this one, I am not doing this one. So here I've already created a first inbox. What videos would you like to see? One video, Turbo Plus device. I've added a vote. Now this doesn't look beautiful yet, but I'm going to improve the style. So default will be a new, but I will want to use some enums, and in enum it's not cool to have the word new. So the new is used by a controller action and we might have some problems. So I will say something like incoming or not viewed, not seen. Let's say incoming. Default incoming. Rails DB migrate. Okay, we've done the migration, and oh my god, so many windows. Let's just close all the windows that we are not using at the moment. Let's also add a button to change the status of a message. Okay, let's go Rails S. Okay, let's display the status of the messages in the post shell. Let's go to inboxes, messages, message, and let's display the status. Let's say equals message.status. And here the status is incoming, for example. Let's add some kind of style. So B. Actually, is there any difference between B and strong? HTML B vs strong. The strong element is for content that is of greater importance, while B is used to draw attention to the text. Okay? Makes sense. So this is just going to be inside a B HTML tag. Okay, and now let's make it so that we can change this status by clicking a button, and it will also work with the Turbo. Now let's start by maybe adding some functionality without Turbo, and then we add like responsiveness with Turbo. That's the way it should work. So first we just make it work with the regular CRUD, and then we add Turbo just as a tiny sparkle of responsiveness. So here we have the message status, and we would be able to update the message status to something else. Now, what are the available statuses going to be? We will have something like, as I said before, incoming. Then we would have to do and done. And we would have spam, for example. So 4 options for the beginning. Let's add this inside the modal. I will go to message.rb, and here we can add an enum. Now, how do we add an enum? I really don't remember. Let's go and see enum. See, again, going to my blog, it's totally okay to Google, it's fine to go to Stack Overflow, but here I've already got a lot of notes on my blog and it's a bit easier for me. So I would go and say enum status, and we would have incoming as incoming, to do as to do, done as done, and spam as spam. So why am I doing it this way? Because I want to save the string in the database. I don't want to save an enum as a number. So if I did enums differently, we would have like draft 1, reviewed 2 or whatever. So we want to save it as strings in the database. We have 4 different statuses. Let's see. I will start the Rails console and try to see if enums work. So I will say message.first.spam, and it says false. And let's say incoming says true. Let's say .spam with a ban, and we make it spam. So this kind of works in the console. We've added the enums, and now we can actually make some action, add an action to be able to change it in our routes, controllers, and views. So we can also actually have a different color for different statuses. So we would maybe have a different color for each status inside a helper. I would go to helpers, inside messages helper, I would say def status color status. Okay, and I would say when incoming, the color would be, let's say, blue. Then what do we have? When to do, the color would be orange. Then when done, the color would be, let's say, green. And when spam, the color would be red. Let's see if this would work. Yeah, Alexander, so at least what Google tells me, like strong and B both make sense, but strong is of great importance, and B just highlighting something inside the text. Well, anyway, let's have another look at B. Yeah, so both of them seem to be kind of valid. Okay, so here we are going to have different colors, and let's try to display the status color. So I'm going to a message, and I will say equals status color, and I'll say message.status. Okay. So I might have written the when statement incorrectly. Okay, let's see. Maybe I had something similar before. Okay, maybe it should be as a symbol, not a string. Okay, maybe I forgot to say case status. Yeah, so case status, like this. Okay, and here you see blue and blue. Now let me change, well, yeah, it's kind of working. Not super beautiful, but kind of makes sense. So we've added the status color helper, and now we're going to add a way to change the status. So I'm going to have a button to, yeah, let's actually try to have a list of all the statuses. I would have message.statuses. here are all the statuses, and I will say .each do status. And I would have a few different buttons. And so measure statuses, each do status. And here I would have a button to status. So I would like make this status. Yes, Nikolai, hi, nice to meet you. Indeed, I forgot this case when. Okay, so button to status, it will be the name of the status. Then we would have some action. So here we had upvote. Here we would have something like change status. Then add inbox and add message. And method would also be fetch. Okay, so it will be a button to change the status. Okay, now I'm going to the roots, and the root that I'm going to add is going to be change status. So fetch change status. Get status. Okay, I've added the root, and I need to add this action in the controller. So going to our messages controller, I will add an action named def change status. Again, I will find the inbox. I will add a flash notice. And I would have an action as message dot something. Now let's see. I might have already done something like this before. Enum. I might have already done it with an enum and have some kind of fancy way of doing it. Yeah, so it will be just update status with the params. Possibly. Let's say message.update status with the params status. Okay, and let's say redirect to add inbox. And we're going to have this flash notice thing. Actually, in this upvote, we don't want to have flash notice, we want to have flash.now notice. Gurav Agarwal, thanks for sharing your knowledge. I'm new to Raw. Hello, Gurav, nice to meet you. Okay, here I will have flash now. Here I will say status changed. Status changed from param status to add message.status to the new status. Okay, so we find the message, we update the message with the status that we pass in the params. We have a message that the status was changed from one to another. We redirect back to an inbox, and let's have a look back here. So button to status, change status, and do I pass it in the params here? Yeah, here I do pass the status in the params. So will it work this way or not? Status as status. Let's refresh and see. I think it won't work. Wrong number of arguments. So what if I actually make it in a slightly different way? I'll go to roots, change status. Hello, Victor. Yeah, so I've fixed the Heroku. Basically, it was a problem with my local environment that was setting the wrong version of Turbo. And what I had to do is delete Turbo from my local environment and reinstall it once again, and the error was fixed. So going back, I made a small note about it. Yeah, so a couple of days ago there was this Turbo Rails gem version was yanked, so I had to uninstall Turbo on my local development environment and reinstall it once again, and everything worked perfectly. Okay, so yeah, where was I? I wanted to have change status inbox message path. Let's try it this way. Equals button 2 status, then change status inbox message path, then I pass add inbox, add message and status, and method patch. Let's see if this one works. Going back. Okay, no root measures action change status, control inbox messages. Did I make a typo somewhere? Patch change status. And we have button to status, change status inbox message paths, inbox message. Oh yeah, I should say message without this add. Let's try once again. And yeah, we have these buttons. But you see they don't look really nice. Let's say we'll just display the key. Status.key or status.value, it really doesn't matter. Let's say status.first. Or let's say statuses.keys, like this. So here we have the keys and status.capitalize. Okay, looks fine. Let's just add some kind of break between the button to vote and the place where we update the status. So here we have the statuses. The status is in common, the color should be blue. And we have 4 buttons to change it. Let's try doing it. So moment of truth, I will try to change the status from incoming to spam. Status changed from spam to spam. Yeah, anyway, that's good. That's working well for us. We can just, I mean, this one isn't so important. Let's say status for message, let's say message.id updated to spam, let's say status for message and the message status. So I will change it once again. You see it is spam and red. I go to done. Okay, undefined message. I should get add message here. So we have done green. I press to do orange. So looks kind of fine. We have these buttons working without Turbo now. Now let's save our changes and make them work with Turbo. Get status, get add all, get commit main, add status to message. Okay, now let's add a tiny bit of Turbo to make it work responsively. And we're just going to say flash.now, not to have it on the next page. Then we're going to say respond to the format turbo stream, and we're not going to have the redirect anymore. And we're just going to re-render this partial. So again, I will try to do it. I press done, and you see we don't have a page refresh, and we are changing the status, and it updates. So I press spam, or you see it was changed to spam, done, and so on. And we don't have a full page refresh. So this is the magic of Turbo that's working perfectly in the application now. Okay, let's save the changes. Get status, And you see, we didn't have to do anything else in the views. We only updated the controller response. Okay. So git status, git add all. Yeah, I just made it span a couple of lines so that it is a bit more readable. Git commit main, add turbo for updating message status. Git push and git push Heroku main. And in a moment you'll be able to go to askdemos.com, try to create an inbox or well, let's say create an inbox like what would you like to see in this stream. You can select a color, create an inbox, and everything inside this inbox is acting as an SPA. So let's say I add a message, and without a full page update, okay, you see it is updating because I just pushed to Heroku, so it ran Heroku restart. So yeah, but now basically everything should be happening as an SPA. So you see, I add messages, I get the flash updated, I get the messages count updated, I get a message added on top of the messages list, or you see I get something went wrong without the full page refresh. Then I can change the status. You see, again, I don't have a full page refresh. I can upvote a message or downvote without a full page refresh, or I can delete a message and the page isn't refreshed, it is just removed from the list. So this is the magic and the full fantastic power of turbo streams. And you see, for now we've just used only turbo streams in the application. Yeah, I will share the link. How can I share the link? Oh, hello Ahmed. Nice to see you here. How's it going? Power of turbo streams. Okay, so let's see what we've got on Plausible. We had 4 unique visitors already. Success. Okay, so going back, what have we done? We've added the color. Let's say add color. Yeah, we've added inbox color theme, and now we've added status to messages. Actually, we didn't have it in our to-do, but we've done it. Okay, and then I had a small thing that I was trying to fix before. Let's see, maybe I can do it quickly now. So if I go to a message, you see, even if I have upvoted on a message, I still see this upvote text. So the text is not responsive. Yeah, happy to see you, Ahmed. Okay, so let's try updating this text once again. And I had it here in our message partial, so we had button to upvote. Again, let's make it work as a block. So button to upvote, do, then we'll have an AND statement, and for now we'll have just upvote 1 to 3. Okay, so it works as before, and now we'll have some conditional text here. So I would say if current user dot voted up on message vote scope like, yeah, that's what I forgot initially. Then we will have unvote, else we'll have up vote, and end statement here. So let's see, I have unvote and upvote, and looks quite fine. So let's save the changes. Git status, git add all, git commit main, change vote text based on vote status, git push. Now you see the whole thing here is that I've added vote scopes here, so I vote up or down with a vote scope like, and here when checking if the current user has voted up or down on the message previously, I forgot to add this vote scope to the query, and that's why it didn't work nicely. Anyway, it's working now. Git push Heroku main. Okay. Yeah, I'm quite happy about it. Let's see, so we've added OmniAuth, we are not going to do this anymore. So we've got a few inboxes and they all have different colors. Yeah, I see Dom created an inbox also. Cool, nice to see you, Dom. Yeah, cool. Okay, and now based on the status, we can also, let's say, change the color of an inbox, or I mean of a message. So similarly to what we did inside our inboxes, let's go to the inbox here. We added the style background color, and we'll do the same for our messages. So class scaffold record, and style background color. It will be status color message status. Let's see if this works. I refresh, and now I change the color, and you see without any page refresh, the whole partial gets rendered with the correct color. So the responsive behavior looks even nicer now. Fantastic. Now I can remove the status color from here. Do I want to see the message status here or not? Well, let's stay for now. But basically, what's the color of the incoming messages? Let's make it not blue. The blue is very harsh on the eyes. Let's make it gray, for example. Okay, so gray is incoming, to do is orange, done green, spam red. So the colors of a traffic light. Let's save, git status, git add all, git commit main, change message color based on status, message partial color. So added some more responsive turbo behavior to our messages controller. You see it's now if we go to our messages controller, we've got quite a lot of turbo in each action. Change status, upvote, create, both cases of create, and destroy. So each non-private action here has a change status. And actually, you see we have this message inbox messages find params in a few places, so we can move it to a before action. Let's say before action set message, and I will go to private and say def set message, and move this here. So message inbox messages find. I will also remove it from the upvote action, and I will set message only I change status and upvote. Okay, it should work as before. Again, it would be cool to write some tests for this application, but we can do it later on. So works just as before, and we've just done a tiny bit of refactoring. Git add all, git commit main, move refactor, messages, controller. Now let's run bundle execute Robocop. Okay, these are a lot of offenses, but style frozen string literals or string literals, this is just cosmetic, so I will say auto fix. Nearly all of them have been automatically fixed. And what do we still have? So we have our messages controller, change status is to none, upvote is to none. Let's have a quick look at them. So it is again because of the format TurboStream. Then let's see, messages controller to none because of the TurboStream format. Yeah, good idea, Alexander. It would be possibly better to change the color only of the title of a message, for example. This can also be done. Okay, so consider replacing case when with a hash lookup. Yeah, I also think Alexander said this at some point on top. Let's see. Yeah, better to use hash and select by the key. Okay, but I won't be doing it right away. Actually, I would be super happy if you, Alexander, or somebody added a PR with this change to fix this Robocop case when thing. Okay, git status, git add all, git commit main, Robocop auto correct, git push. And let's see what else we wanted to do to launch the application MVP. Anyway, the functionality already seems to be quite nice, but it looks quite ugly. So we have inboxes, we can create a new inbox, select the color, a name. Again, why do we have the color in line with the name? It's kind of awful. Let's go to our inboxes form. We have the label for name, and I will have a label for theme color. And it's going to be in a separate div class field. Let's see, Rails S. Okay, so this makes a bit more sense. Now a message has a name, a theme color. Oh, I mean an inbox. To edit an inbox, we still need to go to the edit page. Now, I think it's fine. We don't have to have responsiveness everywhere, but we do need to have some on the client-facing page, like these inboxes. Okay, looks fine. So let's see what else we had in the to-do list. Device confirmable, Amazon SES, rack attack, some kind of capture. Yeah, these are a few things we can actually do now. So let's try adding device confirmable and set up emails in production. Now, how do we add device confirmable? Okay, no, it's not the guide I wanted. Maybe I'll go to visit original URL. Okay, this is good. So I'm going to add confirmable to user.rb. Yeah, and I will also add a user page. So user ID page. So you'll be able to go to your own profile, and we will add the ransack for inboxes and messages. So we'll be able to sort messages, we'll be able to sort inboxes, and we can do this with the turbo frames, for example. Then we can add disappearing flash messages. Yeah, let's first of all start with adding disappearing Flash messages. Okay, so how can we add disappearing Flash messages? Let's add a stimulus controller for this, and it would remove a Flash message after some time. I will clean up the views now. I mean the tabs, get status. Yeah, I can commit that later. And now let's, go and add a controller. I will add a JavaScript controller named, for example, like Flash or disappear. Auto hide controller. Auto hide controller.js. Now I will copy the behavior from another controller. Then I will say connect console.log auto hide connected. Let's see if this controller just works. So I will add it somewhere. I will add it, for example, inside our Flash message. So here we have our shared. Inside shared we have Flash. And here we have Flash h2 key value. And here I will have div data controller would be auto hide. Okay, something like this. And yeah, whenever Flash is rendered, we would see that this controller has been connected. Let's see if it works. Rails server. Okay, now I'll inspect the element, go to console, try adding a message. And here you see auto hide connected. So the controller does work. Well, it does do what we asked it to do. Okay, напоминаю на всякий случай set meta перенести в before action. Okay, so yeah, now we're going to add some behavior. I would say on connect, we're going to set a timeout, set timeout, and it would be something like this. So this dismiss. We are just going to dismiss the element, and we're going to dismiss it in let's say 5 seconds. Okay, something like this. So we're going to set a timeout on connect and dismiss the element. And what is this dismiss going to do? I'll say dismiss will mean this dot element dot remove. Something like this. Let's see if it works. I will add a message and let's see if it gets removed. Yeah, it did get removed. So now we've added disappearing Flash messages, and you see it was just a tiny sparkle of JavaScript. Let's add another message. You see we have message created. We wait for 5 seconds and boom, it has been removed. Fantastic. So I think we can save our success. Let's say git status, git add all. No, actually not all. We've changed only these 2 files for Flash to disappear. git commit main disappearing flash with stimulus, git push. Okay, looks nice. Git push Heroku main. Let's see what we had. So disappearing flash messages, we've added it, and it's moving to done. And now let's actually add some ransack. So it will be able to search for messages, to sort them by the creation date, for example. How would we do it? Well, let's start with inboxes. Let's add the ransack for inboxes on the inboxes controller. Let's go to controllers, inboxes controller. So we're going to add the gem ransack. So GitHub active record hackery ransack. Now we take the gem ransack and add it to the gem file. Yeah, thank you, Ahmed. Now I run bundle. And let's see what's next. So active record hackery, ransack, so simple mode. Yeah, simple mode is fine for the beginning. Let's go to our inboxes controller. We have just inbox all. It's actually awful. I would always like there to be some kind of default order on the controller level, but that's fine for now. We are going to already change it. So I'll say inbox ransack, inboxes queue result. Okay, let's see if this works. Well, it should work. So I have the list of inboxes, and now I will add some kind of sorting. So we have sort link for name, for example. Let's go to our inboxes index, go into inboxes, index, and somewhere here we'll have sort link by name and by created at. Let's see. So now we can sort by name and by created at. So works. And yeah, that's fine. Let's also add a search bar to be able to type the name and see the result. Yeah, Ahmed, so there are a lot of ways to make ransack work with Hotwire depending on what exactly you want to do. And we're gonna try to do something with it now. So again, now we have just sorting. Let's also add a button to reset filters. How can we do it? Let's say equals request.query parameters. Let's see if we have any query parameters. .any, you see, we do have some query parameters at the moment. Now we see true or false. If I go back to the inboxes page, it says false. So we will have a conditional link to the current page if there are any query parameters. It will be just a refresh link. So link to clear search request path if request parameters any. And what is request path? Let's also see what request path is. I'll say equals request path. Okay, so the request path is inboxes. And the clear search is going to bring us back to inboxes. So it's removing our search or sort filters. Yeah, let's actually leave the request path visible for now. Okay. So you see, if we have any filters, we have this clear search. Now let's also add an input form to be able to select a name. So here, for example, I will add a search form. Name contains. Let's see if it works. So name contains, let's say SED. Now I don't like that it offers me some autofill, so I will say autocomplete off. I think it will do the job. Okay. How did I do it previously? Was it autocomplete off? Yes, it was. Let's see, HTML autocomplete off. Yeah, so this should kind of work. Form, action, autocomplete off. Maybe we should actually do it on the form level. Let's see. Autocomplete off. Will it work or not? Yeah, it seems to work if we add it on the form level. Let's see. I'll go to inspect element. And here we have form. But I don't see this autocomplete off thing. So maybe let's say input HTML autocomplete off. Let's see if it does anything. Okay, let's just say HTML autocomplete off. If this one doesn't work, then yeah, this one did work. Okay, autocomplete off. And yeah, it's the right thing to do. So for now, I've just added some really basic runtime. Now let's also add sort, not only by the name and created at, by the quantity of messages. So by a child field. Okay, how can we do it? Let's see. So sort form, it's going to be a sort link and some kind of child attribute. Let's try adding a sort link and we will have something of model attribute. Okay, messages. Oh, actually, we don't need another attribute. Oh, we don't need to search by child or by parents because we already have messages count. So we have it in the database. So sort by message count. So we have sort by name, by created at, and by message count. And also I would like to sort by ascending, so from top to bottom on the default. So default order is going to be descending. Let's add the default order here, here, and here. Going back, I'll go to the inboxes. So by default, we sort from top to bottom. And also let's add some kind of default order inside our inboxes controller. So inbox ransack.order created at descending. So we will also have a default order. Okay, maybe not here. Let's see if this works. So yeah, all of them were created on this day. But if we change the order, then it works. So you see, on the first time, it doesn't change anything because it is the order that we have by default. But the second time, it does change stuff. Okay, so yeah, we've added some basic ransack. Let's save our changes. So we've updated our gem file lock, inboxes controller, inboxes index, git commit main, add basic ransack for inboxes, git push Heroku main. And let's also save these changes in the form if we want. Tom, custom date range would be a nice sort type too. Yeah, custom date range. That's an interesting one. That would be a good sort for messages. So not for inboxes, but to sort like messages between two dates. I think that's a good one to add when I'll be adding runsec to messages. Okay. Anyway, what did I do here? I get status. So I improved this form a bit. So git add all, git commit main, style inbox input form, git push Heroku main. Okay, so let's see where we are in the master plan. Runsec for inboxes and messages. Okay, we have added the runsec for inboxes. And it works without any turbo at the moment. Let's try adding a tiny bit of turbo. So I'm going to the index page, and I will try wrapping part of the page in a turbo frame. So I will say equals turbo frame tag. I will give it a unique ID like search, for example, do, and I will put this all inside the block of this turbo frame tag. Okay, let's start the server. I refresh. Let's say I will go to new inbox, back to inboxes, and let's just track some things. I will track the time, so I'll say equals time.zone.now. I will have a request path inside the frame and outside the frame, and I will track the time inside and outside of the frame. Okay, so let's refresh. Again, going here, you see the time is identical and the URL is identical at the moment. Let's say I will sort by name. And you see the time updates inside the frame, but the time does not update outside of the frame. And you see the URL doesn't change. So everything that changes is inside the frame. Let's see how it works. I press inspect element. Let's go to network. I will clean it all. For some reason, I'm using Safari at the moment. No idea why. Okay, so I press sort by name, and you see, I get, basically, I go to the controller. So it brings me to the inbox's index controller. It sends me back a response, but the request type is turbo frame, and it renders only the stuff that is inside the frame. So basically, I send a normal request to the controller index action. It sends me a response. But in the response, on the page, it renders only the stuff that is inside this particular frame. So you see, each time I get inboxes as a fetch, and I don't have a full page reload. So you see, the first time it doesn't change the time. I press clear search, and everything is updated only inside the frame. So looks quite nice. Again, it is debatable whether you need this kind of behavior in your application or not. If it is just some kind of basic list and you don't need to be able to access it with the URL, then it's fine to use turbo frames, and it can look quite responsive. Let's again try doing the same without a turbo frame. So I press name, and you see both times update, and still it looks very responsive because Turbo Drive, the child of TurboLinks, updates only the part of the page that should be updated. So all the other parts of the page still stay kind of static. Though we have, yeah, you see we still have the fetch kind of request. So again, it is debatable whether you do want to use turbo frames in this case. But it's fun to try to sort records with turbo. Actually, let's try one more thing. Let's input a name. So I will search by a name, inbox, something. I press search. You see both times updated. And let's make it respond. So let's make the search form Q, HTML, and let's make it work with turbo. So I would say something like data, turbo frame, search. Let's see if this would work only with the search thing. So I would not want this time to change because this will be kind of a remote form that goes to this turbo frame. Oh, I've actually removed the turbo frame, so let's add it back. So refreshing, I start typing, I press search, and you see the first time didn't get updated, the first time did not get updated, so we didn't have a full page kind of reload. You see, I type this in, I type something once again, and you see the first time doesn't change, but the time inside the turbo frame does change. So this way we kind of made all the search and filtering on this page work with turbo. Now another thing that we would possibly want to do is make it work as you type. So let's try to do that. For this we might want to add an additional controller. So searching for records without a page refresh. I'm getting a bit tired. Let's create a new controller. It would be something like a search controller. Okay. What have we got here? Okay. Let's actually do this later. We don't have much time, and I still want to finish at least most of the things on the to-do list still today. I'm going to release separate videos on turbo everything later on. So I'll just save the changes, git add all, git commit main, turbo frame search for, so ransack, turbo frame search, git push. Okay, and what have we got on the to-do list that's still a must-have? So ransack inboxes index with turbo frames is done. I can't believe you have been streaming for 3 hours and 17 minutes. Oh, neither can I. Okay, so we still have a few things to do, like ransack, search on input. Or let's say turbo search whenever input changes on inboxes index. Okay, now user ID page. Yeah, let's add possibly a user ID page, and let's actually make it so that a user can see, yeah, more importantly, let's make it so that a user can see his inboxes separately from somebody else's inboxes. So what if we make a scope as my inboxes, for example? How can we do that? Let's go to our inbox.rb, or actually we can do it in the search, or we can do it in the user's show page, or we can do it later. Let's do this later. Anyway, I already have so many windows open for device confirmable. Let's finally do this. Rails generate migration, add confirmable to device. This is a must-have if we have login via email. Okay, now we are adding confirmable in user.rb. Okay, then we are going to add these lines. So let's go to add confirmable to device. Yeah, we have to specify the migration version, so it is 7. You can't use change. Okay, then we don't want to update all the existing users with confirmed at, so we will automatically confirm all existing users. Now with the new Rails 7 goodness, would you stay away from ES bundling and CSS bundling when using yarn and package.json? So Ahmed, I didn't dig deep into CSS and JS bundling yet. This is a good question, and hopefully I will have a good answer in the next month or next couple of months. Yeah, so again, Rails 7 is still in its alpha state, and what I'm doing now is a bit experimental. So trying to launch an application on Rails 7 alpha, there can still be a lot of changes, so I would be wary on moving production applications away from Yarn and Webpacker. If you're running any really business critical application on Ruby on Rails, I would still consider using Rails 6, Yarn and Webpacker, but hopefully that in the near time we'll be having some good answers on best way to use import maps or best way to use JS bundling, CSS bundling. I really don't know yet. Okay, so going back to device confirmable, this looks good. Let's say Rails dp migrate. Okay, we don't need to generate device views. Do we want to change any confirmable behavior? Let's go to device.rb, go to confirmable, allow unconfirmed access for some days, no. Confirm within, no. Reconfirmable, true. Confirmation key is email, remember 4. It's not confirmable anymore, okay? So we're not going to change anything to the default behavior of confirmable in the device initializer. And what do we want to do next? So there is an after confirmation path option. So after confirmation path, yeah, what if we do have a user profile and he'll be redirected to his profile, or he'll be redirected to the scope of inboxes that belong to him? Anyway, we can do it a bit later. So we've added confirmable, and now let's try to play it out. I'm going to start the server and create a new account. Log out. Register. Sign up, not now. Undefined local variable or method unconfirmed email. Okay, why is that? So where do we have this unconfirmed email? Yes, we are using reconfirmable, I guess. Yeah, Tom is saying that depending on if you use Tailwind or something, you need ESBuild or similar. You can use apply or anything like that with input maps from how the Tailwind gem is currently. Yeah, so as you see in this application, I'm not using any external packages that are not Rails or Ruby gems yet, but it would be really curious to find the right way to add Tailwind. But actually there's no problem with finding the right way to add Tailwind, because GitHub, Rails, there is already a repository named Tailwind Rails, so it should be pretty straightforward to add it. Yeah, anyway, I didn't go deep into CSS bundling, JS bundling, import maps yet. It is a challenge that I still need to overcome. Yeah, thanks, Tom. Okay, so we're not using unconfirmed email. Let's see. Reconfirmable true. So we will add this column. I'll say Rails DB rollback. Now I will add unconfirmed email. And Rails DB migrate. Rails S. Okay, I will just create another account. Log in or sign up. Not now. Okay, a message has been sent. If I go into my logs, I see that an email was sent. And if I go to this URL, now it won't work correctly for me because I don't have localhost. I'm using Cloud9 at the moment. So I'll just copy this and add this line, and you see your email address has successfully been confirmed. So device confirmable is kind of set up. Git status, git add all, git commit main, add device confirmable. Okay, git. Now I don't want to push yet, because I don't want to push to Heroku yet, because we still don't have Amazon simple email service set up on Heroku, so there is no way a user can actually confirm his account. So I have added device confirmable, and now I need to add Amazon simple email service. Let's go to Amazon. Let's go to AWS and get some credentials. So I see they have changed the layout a bit. I'm going to go to the bottom, and here I have create SMTP credentials. Okay, I see Ahmed is saying add post CSS needs yarn, which you can add it just using CSS bundling and ES bundling gems. Yeah, Ahmed, I've actually seen the wonderful PR that you've added to Super Rails. So going to GitHub, Vaishmerov, Super Rails. I've seen this fantastic PR where you've added the Tailwind, and it's just amazing. So JS bundling, CSS bundling, Turbo Rails, Stimulus Rails, like a few things I was just not ready to add to this repository yet. And the PR is so massive and you've done so many changes, I really just need to first understand how JS bundling works and CSS bundling works for myself, and then I'll be able to review the PR and merge it. But thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to understanding, first of all, how JS and CSS bundling work, and then merging the PR. Okay, anyway, going back, I was going to create a new user for AWS SES. So let's create ask demos stream, create. Yeah, show my SMTP credentials. Please don't use them, guys. I'm going to change them right after the stream. Editor, Vim, Rails credentials, edit, set, paste, and here I will have, I already have AWS, so I'll have AWS, and here I will have SES, so for emails, and then I will have ID, and I will have secret, close, ID and secret. Exit with saving, AWS, SES, ID and secret. Okay, and now how do I set up my SMTP settings? So I go to production.rb, and here I need to have some action mailer settings. Now I've done this before. If I go to Cosigo, mailer, I have this repository with action mailer. I will just go to, I'll go to production.rb. Let's go to config, environments, production.rb, and see what I've added here before. So action mailer default URL options, perform deliveries, the delivery method. I'm going to add these lines. Then the SES settings. And the application will be named askdemos.com, protocol HTTPS, okay. Then the address, we can also keep it in the credentials. Username is going to be AWS SES ID, and here we'll have AWS SES secret. Let's just check if these work. Rails console, ID and secret. Okay, they do work. Then, I'll also add the address into the credentials. And is the address correct? Let's see. So, going to SES. Let's see, account dashboard. So this one is possibly the same as I have here. No, I'm using EU Central now, not EU West. So I would want EU West here. And let's go back to credentials, editor, Vim, Rails, credentials, edit. Okay, let's see if I've copied everything or not. Yeah, looks like everything. And what is this? It is the address. Okay, I will exit with saving. Now again, go to editor. And I will say, again, what is it? It is address. Exit with saving. Now Rails console, and let's try to access the address. Okay, it works. And here we will dig to the address. Okay, the port seems to be 587. Let's just confirm. Yeah, 587 is a valid port. Are there any other things we need to copy? Let's have a look. So, mailer, perform caching, okay. Raise delivery errors, let us actually raise delivery errors. So, true. Or did we already set it up on top? No, we did not. Yeah, so these are all the action mailer settings that we have in the file at the moment. Now let's actually first see if it gets delivered in development before pushing this to production. So what if I copy this? Now, what if I copy it and make it work in my development environment? Going to app config, no, just to config development.rb. We're also going to perform deliveries in here. Hey Victor, what's up? Yeah, let's try performing deliveries in development also. So let's see how I did it last time. So delivery method is going to be SMTP, perform deliveries true, and the URL, default URL option is going to be the one I've got in localhost at the moment. So this is my local host. Let's just copy it and compare to what we have here. Yeah, so we're just changing this random hex, the ID of the environment. And now let's try performing a delivery. Rails server. Okay, now I will go and sign up. Let's see what accounts I have set up at the moment. Okay, this is fine. Let's say vaishmarov@gmail.com. Sign up. Okay, save not now, and I expect a new message. Maybe in junk? No. Okay, let's have a look at the logs. Was it sent? Yeah, it seems to have been sent, so we did not get any delivery errors. I just don't see it right here. Let me see from my email on Gmail. Okay, actually, we might have not received the email. Or, oh, actually, it's downloading lots of messages, so maybe that's why I don't see it. Anyway, let me try another account. Let's see what accounts I have. Well, yeah, I expect it to be delivered. So this should kind of work. I'm removing it from my development environment. I don't want these deliveries to happen in development, only in production. So I'm leaving it in production. Yeah, it looks fine. So again, going to development.rb. Here I have everything set up. Yeah, I will remove this other default URL options and perform deliveries no. I will comment it all out because I don't want deliveries happening at the moment in the development environment. Here looks fine. Okay, so let's save our changes. Git status, git add all, git commit main, set up action mailer with AWS SES, git push Heroku main. Okay, so I think I've set this one up. Let's go to move it to review in progress. I will say that it's done when I definitely know that I've received an email. And what else do we have? So rugged tag, capture. So lots of tiny small stuff, but we've actually done a lot today, and I'm especially happy about doing the turbo part of the application. So let's open it once again. Yeah, I think we'll be finishing now in a minute or two. Yeah, so what have we done today? So when we create a new inbox, okay, first of all, we've added the device confirmable. We've added social login with GitHub. When we log in with GitHub, we have our profile information updated. Then when we create an inbox, we can select any theme color that we like, add a name. Then the inbox is updated with this color. Of course, it doesn't look super sexy yet. Then we can add inboxes, and without any page refresh, the flash messages are rendered. This message count is updated, and we can upvote or downvote, or actually unvote, and you see we don't have a full page refresh. Only this specific message partial is updated, and the same here. We can change the color and change the status of a specific message without a full page update. So here we are leveraging turbo, and also if we destroy, the message count updates, and the message does just disappear from the page. So you see no full page refresh, and we are using kind of SPA, so single page app behaviors. And in the inboxes list, we can filter by name, created at, message count, clear search, all without a full page refresh. So you see only what is inside a turbo frame gets refreshed. I also search for something like name contains, I press search, and you see we don't have a full page refresh. So what is inside the frame gets refreshed. You see the time updates here, but the time does not update here. So now I'll make a full page refresh, and you see the time updated in both. So this way we are using turbo to not have a full page refresh and only update part of the page. And yeah, that's basically it. So now we also run